All right, Jonathan Alexander has his mock draft out today in the Houston Chronicle. I'll add a link to it below after we get done here. This is a spicy one. This is a spicy one because he has the Texans trading up to number 19 to take Kelvin Banks Jr., 3-year starter, 6'5", 315 pounds, one of the top offensive linemen. We'll get to that in a little bit, but he played offensive tackle his entire time at Texas. This is the trade. Texans send number 25 and 79 and a 2026 second round pick to Tampa for number 19 and a 2026 third round pick. I got to tell you right off the bat, I like Kelvin Banks a lot. I'm not so sure I like the aggressiveness of this trade. I'm in the mood for quantity right now, and I think there's going to be a lot of good guys available at 25. The part that gets difficult and enticing and tempting is that Kelvin Banks is a very good prospect as an offensive tackle. I think there are a lot of people, as Daniel Jeremiah points out, that are looking at him as a guard. And for somebody like myself that really wants an interior offensive lineman, and I feel like at the very least we've got starters at offensive tackle right now, it might be really tempting to stick him there at offensive guard in the first year and see how he does. Banks is a thick, sturdy left tackle in pass protection. He launches out of his stance and shows the ability to sink and bend his knees. He keeps his hands inside and is impatient with his punch. This is Daniel Jeremiah again. When he struggles, it's because he sets up too deep or his feet settle too early. I'm going to show you a couple of instances of that, but both of those can be cleaned up. In the run game, he has initial knockback power, but he doesn't always strain to drive or finish. He's nimble to adjust and pick off defenders at the second level, et cetera, et cetera. Some teams see him more as a guard, but I believe he can hold up at tackle. Lance Zierlein had one of his anonymous scouts say that I wrote him up as a guard for us. The game he had as a freshman against Will Anderson, ever heard of him? Was maybe the best game of his career. So I still have not sought out that game to go watch. I like Kelvin Banks a lot. I think, yeah, you'll probably have to trade up to get him. I don't think he's as fluid athletically as Josh Connerly, who we've watched a couple times on here, but he does look more like a road grading offensive tackle that can be a pass protector and a run blocker. And unlike Josh Connerly, I do think he can move down to guard. There's a lot to like about him, as I know many of you do, especially the Longhorns. He's flat out produced. He's flat out produced for a longer stretch of time than a Josh Connerly. So it gets interesting. It's almost a philosophical debate as to whether you like one or two of those guys. But when you see him, he doesn't have great arm length, but I feel like when I watch him play, he looks like he's got plenty of length. He's got a good wingspan, but not great arm length. Whatever. I think one thing that really jumps out, you can see him pick up games there, and I think he does it pretty effectively. He sorts out the garbage and uses his hands well. At times, this is actually, I'm showing you the wrong clip first. So this is versus Georgia, where he faces a couple good defensive ends, and Mikel Williams and Jalen, what's his face there? So had some good snaps versus him, but sometimes he gives up the edge, and his feet kind of get stuck, and he settles his feet in a little too quickly and early, and you'll see gives up the edge there later in the game. Gives up the edge a little bit there. This play goes on longer, so it wasn't like it was a horrible rep. But there are times, if we go back to that earlier one, where it had some really good reps in this game, but also just you see his feet just kind of get caught behind his upper body. That's where his upper body and his lower body moving in conjunction together. It's not as smooth or as fluid with a lot of these guys. But when you watch just his highlight reel here, picking up a game very effectively. Plenty of instances of that. Mir as well. I like the little hand chop he had right there. Go back, watch it a little. I think he uses his hands really effectively. He does some of the savvier stuff that some of the less developed guys don't have. Out on screens, you see just, boom, he's got an appetite for violence. The swarm, working up to the second level, being a run blocker, I think he's he could be a really good run defender very quickly. The pass protection might be a little bit more of a work in progress, but multiple instances when I watched him of looking for more work, he'll pancake a guy and then go up and seek out a second guy on a screen. Again, another wallop. There's really a lot to like about this guy, including the fact that he just has a whole lot of playing experience. So I'd be happy with this in terms of the selection. I don't like giving up a second and a third round pick. I like Banks. If they did it for Membu, if they did it for any of those guys, I think it brings a lot to it. But then you're in this position of just being all or nothing with him. And I don't know if I have the appetite for that right now. That's an aggressive trade. That's an aggressive trade. So I like the pick. I'm skeptical of the trade. I give Jonathan a B+ for this mock draft for simple gumption. Thank you, Jonathan, for showing some gumption in this time when we're all looking for gumption.